Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolors. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello everyone, welcome back to Painting Watercolors with me, Colin. I hope you'll enjoy this one. This is going to be a sunset, almost a night scene. Tall ship in the harbour, some hills. And I'm just leaving a thin film of water on the paper. Give you a quick run round of the colours. We have Aureolin, Quinacridone Magenta, Indanthrene Blue and French Ultramarine, basically 50-50. Indigo, Burnt Umber and some Pyrrole Orange. I'll put some masking fluid on the areas I want to keep clean for the moment. I'm just going to take some of this magenta, get some a streak in here of it, I think, relatively strong. I want to bring a little bit into the sea and take some of the Indanthrene Blue and French Ultramarine. I'm going to bring these two colours together. It's like there's some wax on the paper there from when it was manufactured. That's going to be a pain. A little bit more magenta around that sun, I think. A little bit of damage there as well. We'll see what we can do with that later. And straight in with some indigo along the top, making it nice and dark. Maybe that will cover these patches here. We'll see how we go with that. A touch of magenta again. Just curling in some dark patches just to help focus the eye into the painting. I have no idea what that is. And I want to take some indigo and a little bit of burnt umber just to darken it again. Still want it on the bluey side, so I'm just checking it against the side of the palette. Remember, this will dry an awful lot later. Bring some across here along the bottom just to deepen it. A bit deeper on this side. And then I'm going to leave that to dry. Okay, now that that's dried, we'll just move on to a little bit of Aureolin. I'm going to drop it in this sun here, nice and strong. As you can see, the painting has dried an awful lot lighter when you applied it when it's wet. And I just want to take a little bit of Pyrrole Orange. I'm just going to gently drop this around the edge. I'm going to take a little bit of water to the sides of it and just tickle this in. Just gently blending that in. I want to put a little bit of Aureolin in these hillsides here. These kind of paintings make really striking features to look at in a room, as you have them in a what I call a neutral matte around them, which is like a charcoal grey heading towards black itself. Taking some of the pale orange, just dropping some of this in. I'll be dropping another colour over the top of this once it's dried, leaving some of the undercolour to show through. But that's all I want there for the moment. French ultramarine and indigo. Just drop that in there for now. I'll add some burnt umber to that, just to make a grey, a dark grey, bluey dark grey. Add some water to that. I'm just going to put the sails in. I want these not to be as dark as the, I don't know what they call them, that support them. Just allowing some of that underwash colour, that magenta, to peek through it. These are only suggested colours. If you don't have these colours on your palette, of course, you can use what you do have, just darkening your blues with burnt umber or burnt sienna, if you just have French ultramarine. And then I'm going to take some more of the indigo, bring it in here, burnt umber. It's really darken this, quite thick now. Take some of this on a rigger brush, check its strength, start to put the mastheads in, all while waiting for the hills and sun to dry. You can put this in with a ruler and a watercolour pencil, a dark watercolour pencil. It's possibly easier, and I probably will do that with the rigging. My hands are not as steady as they used to be. I'm afraid age catches up with us all. So if some of these are a little bit rickety, I really do apologise. Taking a little bit of this and just dropping this in the sail, just to create some movement in the furls. It's a little bit darker on this side. A little touch of water on the end of the brush and just touching it into that colour, allowing it to drift. Mix up a little bit more. This is actually the back of the ship, the tall ship. I'm going to take a little bit of water, touch it on the bottom of the boat. I'm just going to tip this slightly and allow this to run. I hope you can see that. encouragement. And then we're going to let that dry. I've just re-wet these background mountings here, as I will be putting some shading on these, and I've just put the rigging in with a little bit of a watercolour pencil. It's a bit boring that you didn't miss anything. I'm going to add some magenta to this here in the middle. I want this to be thin, just checking it, but I do want the underwash to show through on these, and of course with it being a purple, the yellow will grey. And I'm just going to drop this in, just going to run it along here, allow this to come down to create some light and dark patches in it. And I want to darken that a little bit. On the back side here, just drop some darker shading in on these mountains, this little range. Deepen it as we come to the back. So I want these to slightly disappear in the background here. Just mixing up a bit of a dark colour. I don't want them too bright. I want enough colour in them to show up. Then I'm just going to take the excess off the bottom, allowing it to drift down. This really creates a lot of interest in your background without you having to do a lot. And then we're going to let that dry. Now that part of your background mountings are dry, we move on to these foreground background mountings. Hope that makes sense. Take some of the same colour again. I'm going to darken it a little bit more. Make it a little bit stronger. Just for these to stand out a bit more during the shadow of the other mountains, so they will appear to be darker, but still allowing a little of that underwash to show through. It's almost like a very dark mauve, this. I also want to take some of the darker colour we made before, indigo and burnt umber, a little bit more umber in that. Just applying some deeper shadows in, just bringing some along the bottom. Take some clean water, touch it onto the shore. Now I have got the board set at an angle for this. I'm just going to bring this into the sea, just by encouraging that bottom line of colour to flow. Just darkening up one or two areas. And then we're going to let that dry. So I'm going to mix up a little bit more paint, so I'm just going to add some more indigo into that. And I want to leave it like that, I think. Taking a flat brush. I just want to start to bring in some ripples and waves. Take a little damp brush and just start to soften in just the bottoms. We get a little bit too far with it. Once again, just softening this in. Give it one more go at trying to cover that up. It doesn't seem to want to go. And we're going to leave it all to dry. I'm just taking some titanium white paint, watercolour paint. This is Magellan Mission Gold. This is a really good paint for watercolourists. It really covers really well. I'm just adding some white horses to these tiny waves, just a little bit, just to bring out some bright spots. And I'm using a very thin rigger brush. Just a couple of, but I think we'll put them, yeah, we'll put them in here. A couple of seagulls. I did take a craft knife and a ruler and just scraping a shoreline there. This is where you get round to the end bit. This is where you get to sign it, put a mount around it and frame it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing if you want to see any more videos. You're free to leave a comment. All comments are welcome, and I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.